Hi, I'm Father Eric Sundrup, and I'm here with Father Patrick Gilger from America Media, and you are watching Jesuit Autocomplete.
Leo, are my hand gestures okay?
You're perfect. We're just going to keep you in the studio.
Okay.
You keep looking at the camera and talking.
We are talking about Jesuits. Well, that sounds a little self-serving.
I don't know. Like the last one we had one. What does Pope Francis think about? And I was not nervous about that one. I should have been.
Yes.
I'm nervous about this one.
I'm not nervous about this.
All right, go.
Maybe I will be after I peel this off. Jesuits. Hey, come on now. That's not even fair. Are Jesuits Catholic? Yes. Yes, we are definitely Catholic.
I was on a retreat once. We had actually sand somewhere, and I just drew this circle. I said, "This is Catholic," and I said, "And inside this circle is Jesuit." And memorize this, and never forget this again.
No, we are very proudly Catholic. Our name Jesuits comes from the Society of Jesus, and we are a religious order within the Roman Catholic Church under the leadership explicitly of the Pope. So yes, we are part of the Catholic Church.
That would be Catholic.
Yeah. Okay, that wasn't so bad of a start. Jesuits. Are Jesuits communists?
These are the same questions that they asked about the Pope. You'd think the Pope was a Jesuit or something. That would be very difficult.
Yes, it would be very difficult. No, Jesuits are not communists. Yes, we do explicitly care about and serve the poor. And in fact, we have really strong opinions about the way we should live together in community. So communist, the word community is right in there. So we want to think about how we live together in community in equal and intentional ways.
So like the fact that I don't have a salary and I give all my salary to the community, then it's doled out to me, each a portion to their need?
That's exactly right. But look, all religious orders are communist in that sense. That does not mean that we are in any way Marxist or atheist or anything like this. We care about the poor.
Not a big fan of the opiate of the people phrase.
No,
don't like that.
We can do better.
No, and our own internal governance in the Society of Jesus is in no way it doesn't work like that at all.
No, we're explicitly hierarchical. In fact, we live a vow of obedience. Yeah, I'm only here because Eric made me.
I'm not in charge of you. Praise be to God.
Okay, that's enough. Jesuits. Are Jesuits celibate?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yeah, we're definitely celibate. So we take vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience at the end of our novitiate. So after 2 years, we take vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. And chastity is the way that we live our celibacy. So we have celibate chastity. And what we want to do is, what we promise, celibacy means we will not be married, we will not engage in any kind of sexual activity. What chastity means is that our hearts are in that individual way, separate from a partnership, oriented specifically towards God.
What was the joke? We always say celibacy is difficult early on in your 20s, and then obedience becomes the problem. As you get older.
Well, we should say something about that. That might actually be helpful. So, the question, are Jesuits celibate, that's a real question in and of itself. But I think even the more interesting one is what is celibacy like, or is it challenging? And
yes.
That's right. Yeah, it's very challenging. Because I know for me,
but married life is challenging. Single life is challenging. I think this comes. I don't know married life or single life. Single life maybe for a little bit. But all of these calls to live out a life of love and availability to other people, and how you're going to work that out specifically, that is difficult. We live in a culture it's really going to push you to let it be about you, and it's also going to push you to objectification of other people.
Yes.
And to resist that, and to find communities that can support that, and to deal with all the challenges and temptations that is complicated. And we talk about this a lot in community because we need to support each other in living those vows out.
Jesuits
believe. What do Jesuits believe?
I believe that the Milwaukee Brewers are going to win the NL Central.
No, got to have faith in something. There's a very common joke. If you've met one Jesuit, you've met one Jesuit. Or if you're in a room with 5 Jesuits, then there are 15 opinions in the room.
Yeah, most of them are mine.
Well, I think the question, what do Jesuits believe, is frequently asked, is this in line with what the Catholic Church teaches? Is this in line with Catholicism and the teachings and beliefs of Catholicism? And yes, they would be, because the Jesuits, let's go back to the beginning, that big circle that we drew, where Catholic is the largest circle and Jesuits inside that. So yeah, those align. But Jesuits are also sometimes very high profile, work in a lot of universities, so you'll get them on topics where there can be a difference of opinion within the church, pushing one idea or a new way of looking at something, and some people might disagree with them, and so there might be arguments and valid stuff. I think that's great. I think that's, Jesuits probably also relish those types of discussions.
Yeah, that's probably fair. What do Jesuits believe? It's a complicated question in a lot of ways. A lot of us have expertise in particular areas. I'm a doctoral student in the sociology of religion, so I think and believe a lot of particular things about this subfield of sociology that I spend a lot of my time focusing on. But in terms of religious beliefs, I believe what the church believes, and do my best really to think through that.
So I'm going to give a caution here. If you should type in "What do Jesuits believe?" I vote against clicking on "I'm feeling lucky." God knows what that would be. I think you should look at the entire list of the responses. Right?
Okay, that's. I do want to look at that entire list, and I want to look at this entire list. Jesuits. What do Jesuits do?
A lot of things.
We sit around on Tuesday afternoon and make YouTube channel videos.
That's one of the things we do. I know Jesuits that have PhDs in math. I know Jesuits that are getting PhDs in whatever it is you're getting a PhD in. Sociology. I know Jesuits that work in magazines. I know Jesuits that teach high school. I know Jesuits that run soup kitchens. I know. They're all over the place. I know the Jesuits who's an astronomer.
Work with gangs.
Work with gangs. You name it. If it's possible to show people that they are loved and cherished, then the Jesuits probably find a way to make that work as something that we do. A lot of us get involved in education. In the United States, we're known for our educational institutions, for high schools and universities, but that's not the fullness of everything that goes on. That question, again, I'm cautioning against the "I'm feeling lucky" button on this. You need to look at the entire list. Jesuits do a whole number of things. Another thing, just thought of this. You got two priests here. Not all Jesuits are priests.
True.
We have Jesuit brothers, so not all Jesuits are even celebrating Mass and the sacraments. You have Jesuit brothers who have a different, distinct vocation within the Society of Jesus. They're still fully Jesuits, but they're not working in sacramental ministry. So they're not saying Mass. They're not doing weddings and funerals and all sort of the parish type work. But they give their lives and their service in a different way, and they're more available for other things because they're not required to do all that sacramental ministry. So yeah, it's quite a diverse group.
Yeah. We could spend a long time making a list of the things that Jesuits
Which
do.
our lovely editors would cut.
We could spend a long time making a list like that of everything that Jesuits do. But the real answer, I think, for myself is, what do Jesuits do? We do whatever God asks us to do. Each of us in our own particular and unique ways.
That's what I'm supposed to be listening to.
You actually do a good job of that. Stop it. No, we do whatever the Lord asks us to do. Now, to do that, we have to pay attention to the deep desires of our hearts, that idea of discernment that we talked about before. But we really follow wherever that leads, which is why we end up doing all kinds of things.
What we do as Catholics, as celibate Catholics, who believe and who are pretty much not communists.
Yeah. So we want to thank you for joining us on another issue, another edition.
Episode. I think the word you want is episode.
We want to thank you for joining us on another episode of Jesuit
Autocomplete. How long have you been doing these?
I was waiting for you to autocomplete the sentence.
Oh, okay.
Jesuit Autocomplete. Thank you for joining us. We hope that you've learned something about the Catholic Church. And if you'd like to learn anything more about the Catholic Church, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on America Media.